When someone occupies your mind without any communication, it often signals a deeper emotional connection or unresolved feelings. Vulnerability is the key to understanding these emotions. It's the courage to sit with the discomfort of uncertainty and to face what you might be avoiding, whether it's the fear of rejection, the longing for connection, or the unresolved tension of a shared past. Brené Brown reminds us that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the birthplace of clarity and connection. Allowing yourself to acknowledge what you're feeling without judgment opens the door to self-awareness. Why is this person lingering in your thoughts? Is it love, nostalgia, regret, or curiosity? Vulnerability invites you to name these feelings, to strip away the layers of avoidance, and to confront what's true for you. Yet being vulnerable doesn't mean rushing to act or seeking immediate answers. It's about creating space to explore your emotions and understanding their roots. This process might feel uncomfortable, but it's transformative. By leaning into vulnerability, you gain insight into your inner world, paving the way for deeper self-connection and clarity about how, or if, to engage with the person who occupies your mind. Vulnerability is not just a risk, it's a profound act of self-respect. The stories we tell ourselves shape our reality, especially when someone remains in our thoughts without direct communication. Our minds are quick to construct narratives about what others might be thinking or feeling, often filling in gaps with assumptions. We might imagine that the person is intentionally distant, that they no longer care, or that their silence means something negative. These stories, while seemingly protective, can lead us into a spiral of self-doubt and uncertainty. Brené Brown teaches us to challenge these stories, to ask ourselves what is true and what is an assumption. When we stay stuck in the stories we create, we can lose sight of the facts. The mind often magnifies our fears, making the situation feel far worse than it might be. This distortion can prevent us from understanding the real dynamics of the relationship or moving forward in a healthy way. By recognizing that these stories are not facts, we open ourselves to the possibility of seeing things from a new perspective. We can begin to dismantle the stories by questioning their accuracy and reframing our narratives with compassion and curiosity. Rather than focusing on what we don't know, we can focus on what we do know. Our worth is not defined by the silence of others. When someone occupies your thoughts without communication, it often brings up the desire for resolution or clarity. But the path forward isn't about perfection. Connection requires courage, and authentic, messy, and sometimes uncomfortable courage. We might wait for the perfect moment, the perfect words, or the ideal circumstances to reach out, but this desire for perfection can paralyze us and prevent meaningful engagement. Brené Brown teaches us that courage isn't about getting it right or avoiding vulnerability. It's about showing up as our true selves, regardless of the outcome. Taking the first step toward connection, whether through a message or a conversation, requires the bravery to face uncertainty. We often worry about how we will be perceived or whether our actions will be reciprocated. Yet Brown emphasizes that showing up with authenticity is what matters most. We don't need to have all the answers or a polished response. This act of courage allows us to move through the discomfort and reconnect with others, putting ourselves out there, knowing that the strength lies in being true to ourselves. Perfect communication may never happen, but courage is always enough to build meaningful connection. When someone remains in your thoughts without direct communication, there's often a weight to the unspoken words, the things left unsaid. These unspoken emotions can carry deep significance, whether they reflect love, longing, regret, or unaddressed conflict. Brené Brown teaches us that it's important to honor the power of the unspoken. These feelings matter and should not be dismissed. They're a natural part of the human experience, holding lessons and insights that can help us understand our emotions more deeply. However, while it's essential to acknowledge these feelings, Brown reminds us not to dwell on them. Dwelling on the unspoken can trap us in a cycle of overthinking, speculation, or unhealthy attachment. It can distort our reality and prevent us from moving forward with clarity. Honoring what's unsaid means allowing ourselves to feel and reflect, but it also requires letting go of the need for resolution or closure in order to move forward. The key is to create space for these emotions without allowing them to dominate your thoughts or actions. By acknowledging the unspoken and treating it with respect, we can embrace the lessons it offers while simultaneously allowing ourselves to release its grip and find peace in the present moment. When someone is always on your mind without communication, it's easy to internalize their silence or absence as a reflection of your worth. We often tie our value to how others respond to us, especially those we care about. Brené Brown's message, however, is clear: you are worthy no matter the outcome. Your value is not dependent on anyone else's actions or approval, especially when it comes to unspoken situations. This belief in our inherent worth is vital for maintaining healthy emotional boundaries. If someone's silence or lack of communication causes you to feel unworthy or inadequate, you are giving away your power to someone else's actions. Brown teaches us that true self-worth comes from within. and is rooted in self-compassion. It's about recognizing your own strengths, embracing your imperfections, and understanding that you are deserving of love and connection whether or not this person responds in the way you hope. When you internalize your worthiness, you free yourself from the need for external validation. You can still care about this person, but their response or lack thereof no longer defines how you feel about yourself. Remember, you are enough just as you are. This realization allows you to navigate difficult emotions with grace without losing sight of your inherent value.